Professor, let's talk a little bit about quantum in the daily lives of people. You teach this. You teach quantum at Duke University. You founded IonQ. You co-founded IonQ. So you know both the academic and the practical side of things. One thing that is not so clear for people that are imagining a quantum future is when they will be able to feel the difference, and also maybe also the role that the end user will have when we talk about quantum.
Yes, if we make an analogy, I feel like quantum computing today is where traditional computers were in 1960. In 1960s, there are companies building these mainframe computers of sophisticated machines capable of doing incredible computations, but they were used only by experts and not regular people. It took many decades before people could own their own computers. First, desktop computers, and eventually we all carry in our pockets today. So in my mind, it actually will have to be, we actually have to develop a very large number of devices that can eventually be deployed at a relatively low cost before people can actually see it. But I do believe that it's going to happen faster than for traditional computers, because we actually have much bigger and more substantial infrastructure to build the quantum computer industry. So I think it's going to get built faster. But when you ask the questions about can a layperson use quantum computers on a day-to-day basis, I think that will take some time.
Yeah, but we've been talking about post-quantum cryptography, we've been talking about sensing, we've been talking about use cases that have a direct effect on the daily life of people. Do you think that there is, first of all, there is already a market for this? Because companies are already, basically calling companies in the field to ask for an upgrade on their technological stack.
Yes, I think the fact that a layperson doesn't feel it every day doesn't mean that there's no market. Certainly in the 50s and 60s, there were a market for these mainframe computers by the governments and big corporations and so on. When we think about communication, we can actually very easily access data from anywhere in the world today, thanks to fiber optic communications. But that, I don't think people appreciate the infrastructure that actually makes that happen. So I think when you say when everybody, like a layperson feels it, you got to have it in your hands to actually feel that it's real. In the infrastructure, you can actually use it every day. You can use it every day and still don't appreciate that the technology behind that is quantum. So from that perspective, absolutely, there is real world market that will happen a lot sooner. There are companies who are building quantum computers and people are deploying those things. But when it comes to like a layperson feeling it on a daily basis, that's when I think it's going to take some time. We need a much more massive scale deployment.
So, coming from the US, what is your perspective on the European market and European sector of quantum? Do you think that this is a field in which Europe can have its voice, can play its game?
Absolutely. If you go back in the history of quantum physics, it was born in Europe. All of the early foundation of quantum physics in the last century were built out of Europe. Now, having said that, so I think the knowledge and the expertise and the talent is here. The real question is how do you actually take that basic science and turn it into something that is impactful? And that translation is not just science, but it actually requires business development, entrepreneurship, and then the actual technology development to go get it done. So it is really that combination of opportunity that will be needed. But the way that the European governments and technical leaders are making the right investment, a lot of the activities are happening already. So absolutely, I think it's a bit of a foot race right now. I think there are many very promising European players and companies that are very well in the race.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.